Morning, good morning. It is 8:01. I'm a minute late. My B. Hope you're having a great morning. Rise and shine, rise and shine. It is the last day of August. It is the last day of meteorological summer, and it's a parade day. We've got the big parade for the world champion Little Leaguers of Lake Mary. It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful day. Live look outside on our Tower Cam network, taking you over to Port Canaveral. Skies are looking gorgeous. That said, if we were to turn this camera around a little bit, we'd see some clouds in the distance. Here's a different perspective. Looking off to the east from the Kennedy Space Center, our Tower Cam there, looking at the Falcon 9, ready to go for Polaris Dawn. We haven't heard a new date or time for this one, at least officially. At least I haven't heard it. Maybe it's out. I don't know. But either way, it's a beautiful morning. You can definitely see some of those clouds around. Some showers are sitting off of the shoreline. They'll eventually sneak on in New Smyrna Beach. Here's a live look outside there. People already heading out because why not? It's a Saturday, for goodness sake. Downtown Orlando. Hey, you're looking good. It's a pretty morning. Hope you're having a great start to the day. It's so pretty, isn't it? I love it. I love the morning. Don't necessarily love that like 2 o'clock wake up, but I digress. All right, let's take a look and see what's doing on our first warning live Doppler radar. I had mentioned some showers approaching Brevard County, so let's get right over to our first warning live radar. This is our radar that we have here at WESH. I have full control over it, so I can tweak it to do whatever scan mode I need. Some of the heavier stuff that's sneaking in here. Let me just move this over. There's Satellite Beach, Patrick Space Force Base. Velocity channel not showing anything significant in terms of wind, but yeah, nice little downpours about to sneak on in. So there's that. Temperatures out the door, mid to upper 70s, metro and west. Upper 70s, lower 80s back over to the beaches. And our forecast showing that next couple of hours we'll have some showers, 10-20% coverage. And then by like 2, 3, 4, 5, that's when we're going to get into the majority of the rains today. 30-40% coverage. It's really not going to be that active of a day today. We're going to have some rain. It's just not going to be all that much. So there you go. Not a bad day. Not a bad day. How you doing? Everybody good? Look at that breeze out of the east, 10, 15 miles an hour. It's going to be another nice day. That deep easterly flow, every time we get that, we enjoy an earlier start to the showers and everything kind of sneaks inland through the day. How you doing? Everybody good? Anne Marie, happy Saturday. Happy Saturday to you. Good morning. Good morning. In terms of high temperatures, not a huge story here. If you're heading out to the Lake Mary Little League Parade today, I think we're looking good for it. A couple of showers here or there. It's not going to be a big concern, right? Temperatures climbing into the upper range of the 80s through lunchtime. If you're heading out to the attractions, Magic Kingdom's all decorated for the fall season. Look, meteorological fall begins tomorrow, so I have no problem decorating. I had posted this a couple of days ago, like, when do you decorate for fall? Magic Kingdom, I feel like the day August struck, like, oh, it's not July anymore. Let's go. For me, I think we'll probably wait until tomorrow. But by tomorrow, maybe we do. We're going to go flying. I don't know if we're going to do a coffee talk in the morning tomorrow. I've got the airplane at 8, and I know the family likes to fly early. So we'll probably go fly early tomorrow. And then maybe we'll decorate. Maybe we'll decorate Monday morning. Or during the week next week. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Jeannie says, oh, meteorological fall. Yeah, yes. So let's talk a little bit about meteorological fall. All right. It's when we talk about seasons, the first off, even before we get to this, the first day of astronomical fall is 22 days away, September the 22nd, the autumnal equinox. Meteorologically, we take it in, quarters. So the September, October, November 3-month block is known as meteorological fall. So tomorrow starts meteorological fall. Average high temperature for the month of September in Orlando, 90. Average high temperature for the month of October, 85. Average high temperature for the month of November, 78. I'm not saying get excited, but like get excited. Right? Yeah, that looks pretty good to me. So we're working there. Now, that said, you can clearly see a trend of adjusting temperatures. But it's not like fall just comes in like a wrecking ball, man. It doesn't work that way. So, when do we first usually get that first taste of cool? The upper 60s usually, climatologically in Orlando, first arrives around September 5th. The first mid 60s around October 1st. Last year, we didn't get into the upper 60s in Orlando until the end of September. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. I'm just saying, looking at the 7 day, I've got my little blanket here because it's cold in the studio. I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but like it's not going to happen the first week of September. That I can promise you because just take a look at our 7 day forecast here. Okay. Upper 70s for morning lows. Hold on. I got to turn my earpiece off. It's throwing static because why not? So yeah, we're not going to get there the next couple of days. But we can always watch and wait and see. Tim says, be gentle with your mouse this morning. I'm actually operating this. So this is my laptop, right? So if I mess this mouse up, I have Apple Care. I will also add, I got the new mouse at the house. Get the new mouse at the house. Haven't taken it out of the box, but it did arrive. So we're going to be good to go when we do the coffee talk from the house. So that's fun. Charles says, oh, yes, it's August still, but the past few evenings I can tell it's finally starting to cool off. There's like a tinge. There's like a tinge. You can tell the breeze. You can tell. You can tell. Mario says, summer's almost over. Insert Green Day's Wake. Wake me up when September ends. I get you. I'm a better singer than that. I don't want to show it to you because then then you'll actually want me to sing every day. All right. So that's where we're out. Next couple of days. Rain. Oh, I didn't even mention though, like rain chances dramatically increasing, right? Like today's 40%. I think those Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we actually get into a pretty stormy little weather pattern. Look at the moisture content in the atmosphere. Okay. This is the computer model aided water vapor channel. The grays, at least for Central Florida standards, a little bit drier. Like we're not talking bone dry. We're not into the rust colors. That's super dry. We're not there. But the grays, green is wet. How surprising that is, right? This is the American GFS model. Watch how through today we've got the gray, right? But watch what happens going into Sunday. Look at that influx of moisture. We start to get more moisture, and then into like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Oh, there's a lot of moisture around, and it sticks around literally all week. So that's why our rain coverage goes up and up and up and up and up and up. We have a pretty stormy forecast the next couple of days. All right. Please no rain for the UCF Sam Houston game. I'm gonna do the best I'll be there. I'm gonna do the best I can. I don't want to get wet. All right. Yeah. We can hear the peepers, which I think are crickets. My husband says it means fall and winter are coming. I heard him last night too, so I get you. Right? I get you. All right. Thanks for all your comments. Okay. Work email came in. ADHD, undiagnosed. All right, let's talk about the tropics. But before we do, questions, comments, concerns, looks like indoor marching nights practices this week. Do you guys get to see, when I was a marching night, we didn't get to do that. They had just built the thing. Trying to remember what year they built. It was there. I feel like it was there for a couple of my years. Maybe it wasn't there for a couple of the years. They built it during my tenure out at UCF, but we never got to practice there. Those were the George O'Leary days and the Cruzick days. Good morning from Spain. Ooh, look how fancy you are, Luis. Flew over to Orlando for the best 2 weeks ever. We almost didn't travel because of Hurricane. Well, I'm glad that you came, Luis. I'm glad you came. Sad that you're gone. Come back. Orlando's always open for business. Spend your money here. Spend your time here. Leave with the magic. And maybe move here. That's what most of us did. I mean, I grew up here, but like most of us moved here, you know? Oh man. Truth. Yukon says you can't say you have it if a medical professional has not diagnosed you. Correct. And to the FAA as well. Charles says coffee talk will be a no mouse violent space going forward. Correct. Correct. Charlie says you're my guy now. I like the no hype. Hey, thanks, buddy. Look, I'll tell you the truth. I'll tell you the truth, and I'm going to make fun of everybody all the time. That's what I do. JN says Florida's closed. We look, these insurance prices are closing us up, but I digress. Okay. All right. So, let's talk about the tropics, shall we? You know what? When I last checked, they had not put out the outlook, so I have to see if these numbers are outdated. All right, no, they're not outdated. Okay, so let me just double check. So 10-20 near Texas, 50% out in the open Atlantic, and 0 and 10 in the eastern. So I have to make a change to the one in the eastern. Hold on. That's 0 and 10. All right. I'm going to make a change to this. The new one came out like right as I started Coffee Talk, so bear with me. That's not 0 and 20, it's now 0 and 10. Hold on a second. 0 and 10. See what I do? Bada bing, bada boom. Perfect. Fixed. Okay. All right. So, three areas that we're watching in the tropics. And I would even say, honestly, like the Hurricane Center hasn't made mention of it, but there's that area near South Florida. So let's do this. Let's go back to, let me do this. Let me just go to the beginning and see the loop. So you've got like, first off, like watch South Florida, like that bubble up of convection there. Hurricane Center isn't talking about it, but it's something. It's tropical moisture. That's kind of what's starving us of atmospheric moisture this weekend. So there's that. But there are the other three areas that we're watching. It's this one here, though, in the open Atlantic that certainly has our attention. There you can kind of see the convection is maybe getting a little better organized. Not really expecting it to do much over the next couple of days' time, but eventually we could see some tropical development. So let's do this, okay? Let's look at some of the computer models. We'll start with the raw GFS model data, which I would add, we're not really looking at formation in the short term. Like there it is, that's Monday, 5 a.m., something kind of into the Caribbean, super, super weak. South of Puerto Rico, still weak. This is 11 a.m. on Tuesday. Staying pretty weak on Wednesday. Lifting, there's the Yucatan, and then kind of working. Oh, well, that's kind of a hard right turn. Getting like right up to the Rio Grande and then going over toward Louisiana. So that's the newest American GFS model, is kind of doing this weird little maneuver. It's trying, the model's trying to figure it out. If we go back one model run, it was bringing a decent storm into Mexico. If we go back two model runs, bringing the storm into Texas, we go back three model runs, and it was bringing it into the Florida Panhandle. So we're seeing this consistency of something's going to form, something's moving over toward the Gulf of Mexico. That's enough for me to say, all right, spidey senses are tingling. We come over to the ensemble members, and remember, ensembles are computer models that are done different ways. Think of it as it's the same ice cream. It's Baskin Robbins, but it's the 30 flavors of Baskin Robbins. It's taking that computer model that we just looked at, but running it 30 different ways. And we can look at it on this perspective in the different panels, or we can do what I like to do, which is lay them over top of each other and kind of get an idea. All right, so let's just run this. All right, so we've got some ensemble support. Interestingly enough, we've got, some are recurving. I don't know that the recurvature is likely given the overall scenario. And then we've got a bunch of them that are into the Gulf. So the ones that recurve it earlier and keep east of us develop this sooner. And it doesn't look like atmospherically that's going to be a thing. So more than likely the Caribbean developing near Jamaica, and then probably Central America, Mexico, or the United States Gulf Coast. All right, so that's the GFS. Let's switch over and look at the operational European model. Let me switch it around to the mean sea level pressure normalized anomaly. If I hit the right button, Burris. There we go. All right. This, remember, this is the 0Z. It doesn't go out very far. So we have to switch to the, I'm sorry, that was the 6Z. Doesn't go out very far. We have to switch to the 0Z. Getting into the Yucatan and then lifting up to the north and basically stopping there. Obviously, though, you look at that trajectory and it would be like a northern Gulf Coast thing. So there's something to that, right? Let's look at the European ensembles. Let me back this up. And multi-member. And very clearly, like very, very, very clearly, the European ensemble is very tight in agreement. From Florida, it's really wanting like the Gulf, like it's not really going with much recurvature. We may have like 3 ensemble members recurving out of 50. The rest of them are Gulf. So that to me speaks volumes about the overall pathway for this, right? All right, let's look at the Canadian ensembles. Yeah, the Canadian, very much a Gulf scenario as well. This is not, I would also add that, like, looking at all of this, it's not surprising. September 8th, 9th, 10th is the time frame for all of this. I would add that if you have read the WESH 2 hurricane season forecast we put out on March the 1st, this is an area that we highlighted from Louisiana back to the Big Bend of Florida. And the timeline for this part of the weather pattern recycling, September 3rd through the 10th. So it fits the timeline, very possibly could fit the location. We'll have to watch and see how that plays out, but that's what we put out. So yeah, definitely going to be tracking the tropics these next couple of days' time, next 2 weeks really. But it makes sense. We're basically to the peak of hurricane season here, right? So there you go. All right, we're working our way to the peak. Working our way to the peak, babe. I'm sorry. I I promise you I have a decent voice. I'm just not using it. Next name on the list, by the way, is Francine. All right, so that's where we're at right now in terms of the tropics. Thankfully, nothing threatening us for now, but this little bugger out in the open Atlantic is going to be something we're going to have to watch, right? Jay's asking, where can I find the hurricane forecast that was put out? Yes, my friend. So if you click on wesh.com/hurricane forecast, wesh.com/hurricane forecast, and the web article is there. All right. Sound good? Yeah. James says it only takes one. Indeed, it does. Indeed, it does. All right. Here's the 7-day forecast. While we're yentering it up here, I've got about 6 minutes until the Today Show cut in. And then we're getting ready for the parade. Everybody loves a parade, right? We're getting ready to, we're going to broadcast the Lake Mary Little League Parade live on WESH 2. So you'll have to tune in for that. That little bugger could be Feisty Francine. Listen, my mother's name was Francine, and she was a feisty bugger. So makes sense. All right. All right. Reckon you'll have plenty to talk about on Tracking the Tropics. I reckon you're right. I think so. Am I going to the parade? No. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here at the station. I wish I could. Yeah. All right. What time's the parade? On TV, we start our live coverage at 9:30. The parade starts at 10. Yukon's asking if Chris was in the chat yesterday. Yeah. I'm so glad we're celebrating the Lake Mary team in big style. I am too, Debbie. That's what I was saying to Sheldon this morning. Is like Sheldon and I are both locals, and I don't know that I've ever seen this kind of a thing before. It's just wonderful. It's just wonderful. So I love it. Love it. All right. Questions, comments, concerns, everybody? Are we good? Yeah. Yeah. I used to love to make you cry. Is that a song? If I'm not picking up on it, if it is. When will the East Coast be getting rain? East Coast rain. We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there. Pattern will shift again. Yeah. Why does the Hurricane Center only have this thing at 50% development when it seems so certain it's going to blow up? That's a good question, Jay. So remember the time frame, though. The National Hurricane Center issues those based on when they're going to develop. So if you look, it's 50% chance of development over the next 7 days' time. The models are really going with like day 7, day 8, and day 9. So we're still, I would suspect starting tonight, those development chances will rise. That's a really good question, though. Yeah, that's a really good question. All right. Sound good? Cut grass was a dust bowl. Need to shift these. I know. All right. I got to go do the Today Show hit. I'll see you on TV in a couple of minutes. I'll figure something out. I don't know if I'm going to do coffee talk. Again, I don't know if I'll do coffee talk tomorrow or if I'll do something from the airplane, but I've got the airplane at 8 a.m. So probably gonna do some flying. Um, get up early, that way the weather isn't too bad. Sound good? Sound good. All right, listen. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you so much for hanging out for coffee talk. We'll see you tomorrow one way or another. All right? All right. Bye, guys.